In this lesson, we're going to study 18 phrasal verbs and vocabulary about climate change. Now, let's go. Number 1, heat up. Have you noticed how much hotter it's getting each year? Yeah, it's a little strange. The planet must be getting warmer. Scientists say it's going to heat up even more if we don't act fast. If we don't act fast, the planet will heat up even more. To increase in temperature. The water in the pot heated up quickly. My food is cold. I'm going to heat it up. We can't say hot up. That doesn't exist. We have to say heat up. This is more or less the same phrasal verb as warm up, but warm up also means prepare in a lot of contexts. For example, warm up your body before exercise, not heat up. Heat up is more about temperature. Number 2, cool down. The heat wave is just horrible. I hope it ends soon. I can't stand it. Are they saying when it's going to get better? They say it's going to cool down by next week. It will cool down by next week. To become less hot. After exercising, it's important to cool down. It's going to cool down as soon as the sun sets. We don't say cold down. We have to say cool down instead. We use down here because that's the direction of the temperature. We can't say cool up. That would be heat up or warm up. Number 3, cool off. How can we cool down? It's just too hot. Maybe we could go for a swim at the community pool. That's a really great idea. Let's go as soon as possible. Okay, a swim would help us cool off. We could go for a swim to cool off. To become less hot. He sat in the shade to cool off after working in the sun. The kids jumped into the pool to cool off. You're probably thinking about the difference between cool down and cool off. Well, down is the direction that temperature moves. We say off in cool off because it's like the heat is on our bodies. Our skin becomes very warm or hot. In that way, we're kind of removing the hot temperature on the surface of our skin. We're cooling off. Number 4, chop down. Climate change is happening because of what's going on in the forests. What do you mean? They've been chopping down the trees there. Oh, right. Deforestation is a serious problem. We have to protect nature. They've been chopping down trees in the forest. To cut something so it falls to the ground. We have to chop down that old tree in the backyard. They chopped down several trees to build the road. The word chop is almost the same as cut, except chop is with a little more force. We can also change this phrasal verb to say cut down. It's almost the same. We say down because the tree falls in that direction. Number 5, slow down. The deforestation rate is alarming. We need stricter laws. Will that honestly make a difference? It could slow down the destruction. We need as much help as we can get. It could slow down the destruction of the rainforest. To decrease speed. Traffic slowed down due to an accident. He needs to slow down and take breaks. Slow is a word related to velocity. The word down represents a decrease in velocity. Number 6, speed up. We're falling behind on our sustainability goals. What's causing the delay? Companies don't want to adapt. There's no incentive. We need to speed up our efforts and offer them one. We need to speed up our efforts to fight against climate change. To increase speed or velocity. The car sped up as it entered the highway. You can speed up your computer by removing useless programs. This is very similar to slow down, just the opposite. Up represents an increase in velocity. Number 7, clean up. The beach is covered in trash. That's awful. The animals could get hurt. What can we do to help? Let's organize a group to clean up the beach. Let's organize a group to clean up the beach. To make a place clean. Volunteers came to clean up the park. It took hours to clean up after the party. Up in this phrasal verb doesn't mean much. It just makes the original verb a little stronger. Clean up. Clean everything. Number 8, dry up. This summer has been unusually dry. Yeah, the reservoirs are low. What happens if we don't get rain soon? The lakes might dry up completely. The lakes might dry up completely. To become completely dry. The river dried up during the drought. The plants dried up during the heat wave. In our last verb, clean up made the original verb stronger. Clean up, clean everything. If something dries up, it becomes completely dry. If we add the word completely, like dry up completely, it adds an extra layer of emphasis. This is a very strong sentence because it's a very serious situation. Number 9, soak up. Our city floods easily when it rains. That's because the ground is just concrete. You're right, but how can we fix it? More green spaces can help soak up rainwater. It would flood less. More green spaces can soak up rainwater. To absorb. The towel soaked up all the water. Plants soak up sunlight for photosynthesis. Soak is a verb that means absorb. It's almost identical, but we usually imagine this verb with a lot of water. We can say both. The ground can absorb the rainwater or soak it up like a sponge. Number 10, wash away. There's going to be a big storm this weekend. What about the stuff on the beach? Should we remove it? Probably. It could end up in the ocean. Right. Let's take it inside. We don't want it to wash away. The stuff on the beach could wash away. To carry away by water. The rain washed away the soil from the path. The waves washed away the sandcastle. Wash is a verb which implies a lot of water, cleaning with water. Away is a word that means far or out of our vision. So if we wash something away, we're saying that it's carried away or carried far by water. This could also be about waves. Waves typically wash away things on the beach. Number 11, thaw out. The glaciers are melting rapidly. What's causing it? Do we know? Global temperatures are rising fast. Right, the ice is starting to thaw out much faster. The ice is starting to thaw out much faster. To melt or defrost. The meat needs to thaw out before cooking. The ice on the lake is beginning to thaw out. Thaw is a word which implies something is frozen. We say out because if something is frozen, the ice is inside our thing. So when it thaws out, the ice is removed and it's not frozen anymore. Number 12, ice over. Winter storms are becoming stronger. It's affecting our infrastructure a lot. How are the roads? They tend to ice over quickly. Be careful driving. They tend to ice over quickly. To become covered with ice. The pond ices over every winter. The windshield iced over last night. To ice is not a common verb, but when we combine it with over, which is a word that's similar to cover, then we understand that something like roads or a lake can become covered with ice due to cold temperatures. Number 13, hold back. We're making a lot of progress in renewable energy. That's great news. But the government isn't helping very much. Their policies are definitely holding back our progress. Government policies are holding back our progress. To prevent something. Fear of failure can hold back success. The dam wasn't strong enough to hold back the water. If you hold something, it can't move. If we imagine something is trying to move forward or advance, and we're holding it, it can't advance. We're preventing it because we're holding it back. It can't go forward. Number 14, shake up. Expect a lot of change after that disaster. What do you think will happen? Politics are going to change. People are tired of these policies. The next election is going to shake everything up. The next election will shake everything up. To cause significant change or disruption. The new policy shook up the industry. The scandal shook up the political arena. Shake is what happens when there's an earthquake. We often use this language to describe a significant change. Number 15, pull together. We're facing some serious risks. Everyone needs to contribute so we can fight this. But how can we make a difference? We all need to pull together and do something about it. We need to pull together and do something about it. To work in unity. The community pulled together after the disaster. They pulled together to complete the project on time. Pull is a verb which implies some kind of force. Together means people are in some kind of group or pair. So if we pull together, we form a group and we have a mission or an objective. We want to do something. Number 16, push forward. These big companies really want to stop us. We can't let them. We have to do something about it. So what should we do? We have to push forward and make a difference. We have to push forward and make a difference. To advance despite difficulties. The team pushed forward despite the obstacles. They pushed forward with the project to meet the deadline. Push is another kind of force. When we push, we advance. We move in the direction in front of us. That's what forward means, to move in the direction we're facing. And if we push that way, we're using force. Again, we have an objective. Number 17, roll out. The new green law is ready. It's going to cut a lot of emissions and pollution. When are they going to implement it? Not sure. They're finalizing details. I hope they roll it out soon. I hope they roll out the new plan soon. To introduce or launch something new. The company plans to roll out a new product line. The new policy will be rolled out over the course of a decade. Out in a lot of phrasal verbs is similar to the word distribute. So, in a way, this new policy is being distributed to the population. Number 18, phase out. The company is changing its production methods. Really? What's the plan? They're going to phase out single-use plastics. Great. Companies should always try to get rid of plastic. They're going to phase out single-use plastics. To slowly stop using something. The old software will be phased out by next year. They decided to phase out the outdated equipment. The word phase is not typically a verb, but we can use phase out or phase in. If you phase something in, it slowly becomes part of that system. If you phase something out, you remove it from the system, slowly, in phases. In my opinion, I think it's very important to study phrasal verbs or vocabulary in context. So now, if you want to talk about climate change with someone, like a native speaker, for example, you can do it. And I left a link for you to go find a native speaker or a professional teacher in the description. Just click that link and you can get 50% off a lesson on Preply. Thanks for watching as always, and see you in the next lesson.